Jacob Ben. Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Brought to you by our friends at J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. Can I ask you a personal question?
I'd love to have that aired on the radio.
What?
Whatever personal thing you're going to ask me.
No. Oh, I'm curious. And Hatch, you can tell me what you did. You're engaged.
Uh-huh.
You bought an engagement ring.
Mm-hmm.
Are you also going to buy a wedding ring, or does the engagement ring count as the wedding ring?
Whatever ring I get after this one will not be as gaudy as this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so the engagement ring is supposed to be the fancy one.
The fancy one, right?
The wedding ring.
So there'll be a band, I guess.
It's called the wedding band.
Yeah, I'll get the band.
Yeah.
Mrs. Hatch, so I got the engagement ring, and it was a custom build in a way. Then I had a band made to match it for when we got married.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to do that because this one I'm not seeing a ring like the one I bought. So I'd have to get something made to match it.
And our friends at J. Brooks Jewelers can do just that.
That's our
No,
friend.
I was so poor when we got married. And I was like, no, I bought you a big diamond. That counts.
Yeah.
Just take it off, give it to me, and when we get married, I'll put it back on.
It seems to be almost a 50-50 split on who does what, Jake. Does that make sense? Megan, my wife, wanted the wedding band, so therefore that was happening.
I got my wife a band 5 years later for our 5-year anniversary.
Oh, that's nice.
But the wedding at the time, it was like, no, we got a ring.
My fiance really wants to know how much I spent on the ring. It's like the big question. It's like the thing in our relationship.
Why?
I don't know.
Are you hiding?
Just tell us off the air and we'll
Are
hold
you
it over
hiding
you.
it from her?
Yeah,
Why?
because I can.
Well, that's silly because you should probably get it insured. And to do that,
I have to get insured in her name.
yeah, I suppose.
I can get privately insured. Or I didn't spend enough to be worth insuring. Or it's so expensive it's uninsurable.
Cubic zirconium over here.
I'm guessing it's not so expensive. It's uninsurable.
Knowing what we do for work, Ben, I would have a higher.
It's not the Hope Diamond. You know what I mean? So that would one or the other. I don't know. Would she be mad if it was fake?
It's not fake. I took it to my guy.
Why are you winking right now? We have cameras, Ben.
It's real.
All right. Let's get into this.
She watches too.
What's number one?
All right, number one, 2 teams have moved on in the NBA playoffs.
Man, what a disaster for the Bucks. They had a great performance, had a chance to win it in regulation. Gary Trent Jr. was awesome all game, and then really awesome in overtime. Hit, what did he score, 12 straight points on 4 straight threes, and they were up 7 points with 40 seconds to go. The game is over. Au contraire, says both Gary Trent and the Indiana Pacers. They give up a series of threes. Gary Trent has 2 atrocious turnovers, one of them including a Bill Buckner caught it in his hands and then dropped the ball out of bounds between his legs. And the Pacers get the game-winning basket with just over a second left. Definitely ending the Bucks season. And now the entire question was what happens with Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he had an ugly exit from the floor as well.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton's dad.
John?
Old John going a little too far?
If you missed it, which I don't know how, John Halliburton carrying looks like a jersey of it's not his son's jersey, but it's a jersey that has Tyrese's face on it. And John Halliburton is one of those dads who's just around the NBA all the time. You know, like T. Morant, he's always at the games and he's loud and he's, really proud of his son. But goes out there and is waving this jersey in Giannis's face, and Giannis is looking at it the way like a lion looks at a human in the wild and is like, oh, do I destroy this thing? Do I just kill this person? Like, you're in my territory. Uh-huh. I kind of have carte blanche to do whatever I want, I think. And Giannis, who is unbelievable as a person and is one of the coolest people the NBA's ever had.
Seems very well adjusted, yeah.
Shows some real restraint. Now, they went face-to-face, but I've seen Giannis in person. I've been in the same locker room as Giannis. We talk about LeBron having the best body in the NBA. It's Giannis. Giannis is 7'1". His shoulders are as wide as a doorway. He's all muscle. He could flatten a person, especially a 50-year-old person like John Halliburton. The fact that he showed any restraint is a real godsend for John Halliburton, because that man would be in the hospital today.
You know what it really reminded me of, Ben? And I'm gonna salvage a court storming take for you out of this whole
Yeah.
thing. It really reminded me of when Suspenders Boy was yelling at Bronco. And I was standing right there. And Bronco's trying to walk up. I think he was trying to walk up to shake Kyle Whittingham's hand because he was walking away from the locker room. So
they'd already shake.
Was it?
Yeah, and you
Anyway.
and PK were towards where the south end zone complex used to be. Broncos headed towards the locker room.
So Suspenders Boy is just in Broncos business for like 20 yards, like walking parallel with him. And Bronco just decided. He's like, you know what? I'll throw my career away today.
I've got time.
I'm going to feed this young man his own backside.
Yeah.
And he stops, pivots, and takes a step. And I'll tell you what, Suspenders Boy bounced, and that was probably
Great Bronco decision.
A really good idea. Yeah, that didn't go.
But remember, it was fake news that you guys reported said.
Oh
things
yeah, I
until the video
forgot
came
about
out.
that. People told us like, no, that didn't happen.
That
That next day,
And
they're like, that didn't happen. I was like, yeah, it did.
And then the video comes out, and it's like, oh yeah,
sure did. But it reminded me of that because listen. If you're a family member of a player, you should not be allowed on the court like any other fan.
Agreed.
You are not privileged to be on the floor. That is their space. I think you made a terrific point. That is where they work.
Yep.
And I realize that you can't just have players and coaches on the floor. There are people that are actually working that are required to be on the floor, but they're not waving jerseys in Giannis's face because you know what they're doing? Working. They have a role and a job and to work and are not running around acting like idiots. So I don't care if you are the entitled father of the superstar. Get your backside in the stands and stay there.
And you know what? If I'm the NBA, I'm banning him for the rest of the playoffs.
Oh,
I'm making an example out of him.
Well, what did they do to that guy who at Delta Center who yelled at Rusty? Didn't they ban him for life?
Yeah, banned for life.
Yeah, I don't care if you are a dad.
Yeah.
You just tried to throw down. Well, I guess not throw down, but you
got into the face of a player.
You confronted a player.
Yeah. Right. And by the way, okay, maybe John Halliburton's not the most intimidating person in the world. You know who is? Nikola Jokic's brothers. Like,
right. What kind of precedent are you setting?
If you allow family members to come onto the floor, it could actually get very bad.
And confront players.
Right.
Then those guys could be a problem.
Yes. So he's certainly not on the floor.
So
ever again.
listen, fans, parents, if you're not working, you don't belong on the field. I don't care if it's court storming. I don't care whatever. Stay where you belong.
Orlando Magic also eliminated, but the Pistons won on the road for the second time in this series.
Way to go, Detroit.
And sent it back to Detroit with a chance to even it up at 3-3. Bad news for New York. They don't want the series to last long as they get ready to match up with the Celtics.
And then the Clippers obviously just don't like winning.
They don't taking advantage of opportunities.
They do not like winning basketball games, obviously. Or they're like the South Park Little League episode where they're trying to lose, to not advance.
I thought the Clippers were going to win this series. Now you're telling me that Nikola Jokic, the greatest player on the planet, has two chances to win one game. I think the Nuggets are going to advance. We'll see. We'll see.
Way to go, Clippers.
Cursed.
Next.
Delta Center renovations well underway with new plans announced today.
So we had been wondering how exactly they are going to fit the hockey rink, the ice, get the ice in there while also still having the basketball court. I've never seen this before. I watched the 6-minute video today. We've got it up at KSLSports.com. They have a whole hydraulic, essentially elevator system that I thought was going to lift and lower the floor. No, it lifts and lowers the seats, which makes way more sense.
Riser system, where the seats the floor's going up 2 feet.
Right, period.
But this riser system will adjust to whether it's ice or the court.
That is so cool.
It is so cool. I'm with you.
Engineers, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a son of an engineer, but engineers
You're a son of a something.
Are just brilliant. I mean,
son of a gun.
Brilliant problem solvers. You know what I mean?
Sorry to your mother.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I would hire an engineer to run my basketball team.
Okay.
Like, engineers are just, okay, here's a problem. We got an old building that wasn't built for hockey. We've got, sight line issues and all this stuff, but everybody's bent on staying here and staying in this building, so what are we going to do? And some smart engineers like, Get some hydraulics, get the seats moving around, no problem. And if you have a nice budget and can do those sorts of things, I mean, I just marvel at it. I haven't been to the Intuit Dome yet, but I've heard there's a ton of really cool things where when people see a problem, think outside the box a little bit. It's amazing what really smart humans come up with.
So because the ice is so much bigger, it's almost twice the size of a basketball court, you have to have much steeper seats. So for hockey games, that lower bowl is going to be steep, really steep. Basketball, it sounds like it's going to mellow out a little bit. It's certainly going to be far more mellow than the hockey setup, but they're going to be 19,000 seats for basketball, 17,000 seats for hockey. I imagine basketball will be a little bit flatter now than maybe it is today. I could be totally wrong on that, but that's kind of the feeling I'm getting looking at the video, which I don't like flat arenas. I've been to crypto. It's way too flat. I saw the Jazz play the Clippers. It takes you out of the game a little bit. I don't think the bones of Delta Center will allow you to be that flat. So I'm excited to see it. And I think this is something that you're going to start seeing every stadium do that gets renovated. If they pull it off, and I would fully suspect they pull it off, but this is going to be, this is going to be a shining light that other owners and arena builders look at as how you incorporate multi-sports into one stadium.
Cool.
It's very cool.
All right. What's next?
Number 3, Jaren Hall waived by the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, this was interesting. We talked a lot about Jackson Dart getting drafted over Shedeur. And now a lot of names got drafted over Shedeur. But the surprise, and it started about a week before the draft, was that Jalen Milroe was invited to the green room, right? And everyone was like, well, he's not a first-round pick at all. And he was fun to watch at Alabama. Man, he was all over the place. But a freak athlete, the Seahawks draft him, and I clearly feel like he's got a chance to be a backup that they're happier to bet on than Jaren Hall.
Yeah, Jaren Hall is just... We talked about undrafted free agents and stuff like that yesterday, and it's just a battle. I mean, It's just a battle to make a roster, to get a look, all these things. And I actually think Jaren Hall deserves a ton of credit for battling this long. And now he does have some experience from his rookie year in Minnesota, right? So I would say the likelihood of him latching on somewhere else and maybe getting another bite at the apple is probably pretty high, although him getting cut this early probably isn't a good sign.
This is year 3 for him, right? This will be his 3rd year in the NFL. So, yeah, we'll see. You've been around a little bit.
So, we'll see.
He'll certainly get invited. Certainly get invited to opportunity to compete for a job. And, yeah, like we said, go make a practice squad. Make whatever it is, $6,000 a week or whatever, and then get called up.
I'll tell you, there's one team that will not sign him. The Cleveland Browns.
Too many QBs?
They already have 15 quarterbacks.
Maybe that's the opposite. Maybe they just want 7 quarterbacks, 8 quarterbacks.
They're going to have them play other positions. They're going to have so many.
Why not?
Like you're a quarterback / center.
I am curious if Milroe works out. Oh, was he a 3rd rounder? 92nd pick. Okay, so yeah, 3rd rounder.
All right, stay tuned. We'll have more Jake and Ben coming up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
This is Hans Olsen and Scotty G.